The wait to play Rive on a Nintendo machine has been a long time coming. This 2D side-scroller was first announced back in 2014 and was originally slated for release on the Wii U. Ultimately though, Rive never did surface on Nintendo's former home console, due to a mix of both performance and market concerns. Instead, developer Two Tribes opted to shift the game over to the Switch, the result of which is a much welcomed, amped up, and now portable version, bringing with it a handful of welcome extras. So, what's on offer here? Simply put, Rive offers frantic twin-stick action, bringing together a mix of classic shooter and modern gameplay elements. The action in question all takes place aboard a spaceship filled with a somewhat limited lineup of robotic enemies, all of which are hellbent on ensuring you meet a messy demise. Now, although Rive's story isn't particularly important to the core experience, and the game knows this, poking fun at itself on numerous occasions, here are the essentials. You take up the role of Roughshot, a stranded, loot-loving scavenger who is tasked with escaping the isolated vessel on which you find yourself. You'll be at the helm of a fun little vehicle dubbed the Spider Tank, ready to take on the tasks that lie ahead. You'll need to take out numerous enemies, collect any scrap metal they leave behind, and keep moving until you find your way out. This escape takes place over the course of a dozen or so missions, and the game doesn't really hold back, putting you straight to work, dropping you into the thick of the action. As soon as you get your hands on the controls of the agile Spider Tank, enemies will be flying at you from all directions, and you'll have to learn fast how to deal with them. Thankfully the controls are tight, and you'll quickly be navigating the spaceship's many compact corridors and dodging enemy fire with confidence. Of course, for those times that you don't manage to dodge an enemy, you'll soon die. Get used to it. Seeing the death screen in Rive is no rare occurrence. Yes, Rive is often tough and you will die a lot, but at no point does it ever feel unfair or overly frustrating. Instead, such experiences are ones that you can swiftly learn from, identify where you went wrong, and adapt. Just be sure to hit up the checkpoints. Rive isn't unfair, just a little full on in places. In order to truly progress, you'll need to be agile and quick-witted about your movement and aiming. Mastery of your vehicle and amping up your firepower is key to survival. The aforementioned scrap metal comes into play here. Your collected loot can be used to upgrade your vehicle's arsenal. You'll want to do this early on to beef up your 360-degree firepower and to maintain a good momentum. As you progress through the admittedly somewhat linear levels, you'll come across several boss battles. These offer up something a little different from the typical gameplay, ramping up the intensity another notch. Either way, whether you're wrecking grunts or facing up to bigger bosses, you'll be kept busy throughout an average playthrough, which takes around 6 or 7 hours. Rive's good mix of classic gameplay elements work well together, with double jump platforming, tight level exploration, and a smattering of enjoyable set pieces. From start to finish, Rive is well rounded and plays well. The entire experience looks good and is a joy to play, running at a smooth 60 frames per second and in 1080p when docked. It's 720p when in handheld. For any of you who have played Rive before, the Switch's Ultimate Edition brings with it a new co-pilot mode where 2 players can share the responsibilities. A tough proposition considering how fast the action is. This, along with the extra achievements and competitive leaderboards, means there's plenty to dig into. Oh, and the Switch version also makes great use of HD Rumble. You'll feel every hit you take. Rive is said to be the last game from developer Two Tribes, and it makes for a nice send-off, blending together a handful of differing gameplay styles, solid looks and great design all very successfully. Now, it's not going to leave any grand, lasting impression, but that's okay. This is a game that knows what it is, a simple premise that offers good fun and is tightly put together. Rive's a well-polished addition to the Switch's growing library that has plenty of challenge and charm.